When you feel like giving up, understand first that this feeling is not a sign of weakness, but a natural part of the human experience. The enemy wants you to believe that your struggle is the end of the road, but it is often the very place where God is preparing you for your breakthrough. You must remind yourself that your purpose is bigger than the obstacles you face. You were created with a divine calling that no hardship can erase. In those moments when the weight of the world feels too heavy, anchor yourself in faith. Trust that God's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't align with your own expectations. The Bible teaches us that perseverance produces character, and character leads to hope. So instead of focusing on how far you still have to go, look back on how far you've come. Every trial you've faced has equipped you for the next step. It is important to begin by acknowledging a truth that many struggle to accept. Feeling like giving up is a natural and common experience for everyone. It is not a sign of failure or weakness. Rather, it is part of the journey that each person faces at some point in life. Whether you are pursuing a goal, walking through a difficult season, or simply trying to navigate the challenges of everyday life, moments of discouragement and doubt will come. These feelings are like waves that crash against the shore, avoidable, sometimes overwhelming, but not impossible to overcome. When you understand that these emotions are a shared human experience, it helps to remove the shame or guilt that often accompanies them. It allows you to view these moments with compassion for yourself instead of judgment. No one's path is without obstacles, and the pressure to keep going when everything inside urges you to stop can be overwhelming. Many people feel isolated during these times, believing that they are the only ones struggling or that others have it easier. The reality is that struggle and perseverance are universal. Even the strongest, most successful people have experienced moments when they wanted to quit. It is in these moments that your character is tested and your true resilience is built. Recognizing this normalcy allows you to prepare mentally and spiritually for the inevitable challenges ahead. When you accept that feeling like giving up is part of the process, it opens the door to healthier ways of coping. Instead of battling against these feelings or pretending they don't exist, you can learn to sit with them, understand their cause, and respond intentionally. Often, the urge to quit comes from exhaustion, fear, or a sense of failure. These are signals, not stop signs, that something needs attention. Maybe you need rest, renewed motivation, or a fresh perspective. When you listen carefully to what is behind your feelings, you can take steps that lead to renewal rather than defeat. It is also crucial to remember that these feelings do not define you or dictate your future. They are temporary states, not permanent conditions. Just as seasons change, so do our emotional landscapes. The discouragement that feels so heavy in one moment can give way to hope and strength in the next. Many biblical heroes and leaders went through times of despair and doubt, yet their stories did not end there. Their moments of wanting to give up were part of a larger narrative of faith, perseverance, and ultimate victory. This perspective encourages you to see beyond the immediate struggle and hold on to the bigger picture of your journey. Acknowledging that giving up feels normal helps you avoid the trap of isolation. When you feel overwhelmed, it can be tempting to withdraw, thinking that others won't understand or that you must handle everything on your own. But recognizing the universality of this experience can motivate you to reach out for support. It encourages vulnerability, which is a strength, not a weakness. By sharing your struggles with trusted friends, mentors, or a faith community, you create space for encouragement, wisdom, and prayer. These connections remind you that you are not alone and that others have walked similar paths and emerged stronger. Moreover, knowing that feeling like giving up is normal helps to build patience with yourself. It teaches you that progress is rarely a straight line and that setbacks do not mean failure. Sometimes the hardest part is simply enduring the discomfort and uncertainty of the moment. Patience allows you to stay committed even when immediate results are not visible. It fosters a mindset that values persistence over perfection, progress over speed. This mindset helps you to keep moving forward step by step, even when the road seems long and the destination unclear. In this process, it is also vital to lean on your faith and the promises that sustain you. When discouragement threatens to overwhelm you, recalling that you are supported by a power greater than yourself can bring peace and renewed strength. Faith reminds you that your efforts are not in vain and that you have been equipped for the journey ahead. It provides hope that the struggle has purpose and that there is a plan unfolding, even when you cannot see it clearly. This spiritual perspective transforms the feeling of wanting to give up into an invitation to trust more deeply, lean harder on God's grace, and keep moving forward despite the difficulty. When you recognize that feeling like giving up is normal, you shift from a place of fear and shame to one of acceptance and empowerment. This understanding allows you to face your challenges with honesty and courage, knowing that these moments are part of the growth process. It helps you to respond to discouragement not with defeat, but with determination, and it opens the door for healing, renewal, and eventual victory. In learning to embrace this reality, you take a vital step toward resilience and the fulfillment of your purpose. When you feel like giving up, one of the most powerful anchors you can hold onto is your purpose and calling. Purpose is the divine reason for your existence. It is what fuels your passion and gives your life direction even in the darkest moments. Without a clear understanding of your purpose, it becomes easy to lose motivation and question why you should continue when the challenges seem insurmountable. But when you remember the why behind your efforts, you find a wellspring of strength that can carry you through even the toughest trials. Your purpose is not something accidental or random. It is carefully designed and placed within you. It aligns with your unique gifts, experiences, and the impact God intends for your life. Knowing this truth changes the way you view your struggles. They are no longer meaningless hardships, but necessary steps in fulfilling the destiny laid out for you. When difficulties arise, you can remind yourself that these obstacles are not barriers meant to stop you, but tests and refinements that prepare you for greater things. It is essential to take time to reflect on your calling regularly. Life's pressures and distractions can cause you to lose sight of your original vision. You might start to focus only on the immediate frustrations instead of the bigger picture. Purpose serves as a compass, guiding you back to your mission when you drift off course. When you hold your calling close, it becomes easier to say no to things that do not align with your goals and yes to those that advance your journey, even if they require sacrifice. Many times, people give up because they forget who they are created to be and what they were created to do. It's like a soldier on the battlefield losing sight of the mission and getting caught up in the chaos around them. Your purpose is your mission. Why you were placed here, the unique contribution only you can make. When that mission is clear, it gives you courage to keep fighting, even when the enemy is strong and the path is uncertain. Remembering your purpose also helps you maintain hope when outcomes seem delayed or unclear. It teaches you patience and perseverance, knowing that the journey toward fulfilling your calling is often long and requires endurance. There may be setbacks, detours, and moments when you feel you have taken 2 steps back instead of forward. But purpose is a promise of what lies ahead, and it invites you to trust the process, trusting that every experience is shaping you into the person equipped for the task. Your calling is not only about what you do, but also about who you become in the process. It shapes your character, your values, and your faith. It transforms the way you respond to difficulties, helping you to grow in resilience, humility, and wisdom. This growth is part of the purpose itself, because the journey is not just about reaching a goal, but becoming the kind of person capable of sustaining the success and blessing that come with it. When the temptation to give up arises, take a moment to reconnect with your purpose. Reflect on what inspired you to start this journey in the first place. Remember the dreams and hopes that stirred your heart. Revisit the people and causes you want to impact. This reflection reignites passion and motivation, reminding you that your struggle has meaning beyond the present moment. It is a calling that transcends pain and difficulty because it is anchored in something eternal. Your purpose also calls you to rely not solely on your own strength, but on divine guidance and empowerment. When you remember that your calling is God ordained, you understand that you are not alone in this journey. You have access to wisdom, strength, and encouragement beyond your own abilities. This assurance helps you face challenges with confidence, knowing that your purpose has been decreed from above and that God will provide what you need to fulfill it. Furthermore, purpose inspires hope and vision. It keeps your eyes fixed on the prize, the reason you endure hardships, delays, and setbacks. It reminds you that every trial is temporary and that your calling is eternal. When you stay connected to your purpose, you are able to rise above discouragement and continue with determination. It becomes a source of light in the darkness and a foundation on which you can build even when the future seems uncertain. Remembering your purpose and calling is a vital key to perseverance. It changes your perspective, renews your strength, and empowers you to keep going. It helps you to see beyond the immediate struggle and envision the greater plan God has for your life. When you hold tightly to your purpose, it becomes impossible to give up because you know that your life has meaning and your journey has a divine destination. When you feel like giving up, one of the most crucial things to remember is to lean on your faith and trust in God's perfect timing. Life often challenges us with delays, setbacks, and moments when answers seem nowhere in sight. It's natural to want immediate results, quick relief, or visible progress, but the reality is that God's plan unfolds on His schedule, not ours. Learning to trust in His timing requires patience, surrender, and a deep conviction that what He is doing is always for our good, even when we can't yet see it. Faith is not just a belief in something unseen. It is an active reliance on God's promises and His character. It means holding on to the truth that God is sovereign and that His ways are higher than ours. When you lean on faith, you are choosing to believe that He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating circumstances in ways that will bring about the best outcome. This trust acts as a lifeline when discouragement threatens to overwhelm you. Instead of being driven by fear or impatience, your faith anchors you in hope. Trusting God's timing means accepting that there are seasons for everything. Ecclesiastes reminds us that there is a time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to wait and a time to act. When you feel like giving up, it often means you are in the waiting season where the visible fruit of your labor is not yet apparent. This waiting period can feel long and difficult, but it is essential. It is during this time that your faith is refined, your character is strengthened, and your dependence on God deepens. Patience is not passive. It is an active endurance rooted in trust. Many biblical figures exemplify the importance of trusting God's timing. Abraham waited decades for the promise of a son. Joseph endured years of imprisonment before being elevated to a position of influence. David faced many trials before becoming king. In each story, the waiting was not wasted time, but preparation time. Their faith in God's timing enabled them to persevere through seasons of uncertainty, knowing that God's plan was unfolding even when circumstances seemed bleak. When you lean on faith during tough times, it transforms your perspective. Instead of seeing delays as failures or signs that God has forgotten you, you begin to see them as part of a divine process. You understand that God's delays are not denials, but opportunities for growth and alignment with His will. This realization brings peace amid chaos and helps you to maintain a positive outlook despite setbacks. Trusting in God's timing also requires surrendering control. One of the greatest challenges when facing discouragement is the desire to fix things ourselves or force outcomes. Yet, God calls us to release our grip and trust Him fully. This surrender is an act of humility and faith, acknowledging that His wisdom surpasses our understanding. It opens the door for His power to work in and through our circumstances, often in ways we could never imagine. Faith and trust are strengthened through prayer and meditation on God's Word. When you consistently seek God's presence, listen for His voice, and meditate on His promises, your confidence in His timing grows. Scripture is filled with assurances that God is faithful, that He will never leave or forsake you, and that His plans are for your welfare and hope. These truths become the foundation upon which you build your trust, enabling you to face trials with courage. When you feel like giving up, remind yourself that God's timing is perfect and purposeful. Trusting Him means believing that every delay, every challenge, and every moment of waiting is working for your good and His glory. It means keeping your eyes fixed on the eternal perspective rather than just the immediate circumstances. This trust becomes a source of strength and encouragement that sustains you through difficult seasons. Ultimately, leaning on faith and trusting in God's timing shifts your focus from your limitations to His limitless power. It encourages you to rest in His sovereignty, knowing that He is in control. This confidence allows you to keep moving forward, not by your own strength, but by the strength that comes from God's presence in your life. It is this kind of faith that fuels perseverance, transforms struggle into triumph, and keeps hope alive even when the road seems long and uncertain. When you feel like giving up, one of the most effective ways to renew your strength and determination is to draw from the well of your past victories. Life's journey is filled with challenges, but it is also marked by moments where you overcame obstacles, conquered fears, and emerged stronger. Remembering these moments reminds you that you are capable of facing hardship, and that the same strength that helped you before is available to you now. Past victories serve as powerful testimonies to your resilience and God's faithfulness in your life. Looking back on what you have already endured and overcome shifts your perspective in the present moment. It brings encouragement and hope because it shows you that you have not been defeated by difficulties before, and you will not be defeated now. It is easy to become discouraged when current problems feel overwhelming, but the story of your life is not just about struggle. It is about triumph. Each victory, no matter how small, is evidence that you possess the inner resources and support needed to persevere. Your past victories are reminders that you have faced uncertainty, fear, and pain and still came through. They show that you have experienced growth and learning through adversity. These experiences are not meaningless. They are building blocks that have shaped your character and prepared you for the present challenges. When discouragement creeps in, recalling these successes can help you refocus on your strengths rather than your weaknesses. It reminds you that setbacks are temporary and that you have the ability to keep moving forward. Reflecting on past victories also helps to build confidence. Confidence is not arrogance or pride, but a deep assurance in your ability to overcome because you have done it before. This confidence comes from experience and is grounded in reality. It is a realistic acknowledgement that no matter how difficult the road, you have the capacity to endure and triumph. This mindset fuels perseverance because it replaces doubt with certainty and fear with courage. When you remember your victories, you also remember the role that faith and perseverance played in those moments. Often, your past successes were not solely due to your own strength, but to the grace, guidance, and help you received. This recollection strengthens your faith, reminding you that God has been faithful and will continue to be faithful. It reassures you that you are not alone in your struggles and that divine help is available when you need it. This blend of personal resilience and spiritual support is a powerful combination that empowers you to keep going. Your history of overcoming challenges also offers lessons and insights. Each victory carries wisdom about what worked and what didn't. It teaches you how to respond to adversity with faith, patience, and strategic action. By analyzing your past experiences, you gain tools to handle current difficulties more effectively. This reflective process equips you to face obstacles with greater clarity and strength. Moreover, sharing your past victories can inspire others. When you recount the times you refused to give up and succeeded, you become a beacon of hope for those who may be struggling. Your testimony encourages others to persevere, showing them that setbacks are not the end of the story. This community aspect of drawing strength from past victories fosters mutual encouragement and reminds you that you are part of a larger journey where triumph is possible. It is important to take deliberate time to reflect on these victories. Life moves fast, and without intentionality, it is easy to forget the mountains you have already climbed. Setting aside moments to remember and celebrate your past achievements rejuvenates your spirit. It renews your motivation and reminds you that the current challenge is just one chapter in a much bigger story of victory. In doing this, you build resilience not only through memory, but through mindset. Your mental attitude shifts from one of defeat to one of empowerment. You begin to see obstacles as temporary hurdles rather than insurmountable walls. This shift in thinking is crucial because how you perceive your circumstances largely determines how you respond to them. Drawing strength from past victories cultivates a mindset of victory that fuels perseverance and hope. When discouragement strikes, let your past triumphs speak louder than your present trials. Let the evidence of what you have overcome remind you that you have the strength to endure and prevail. This practice will help you maintain courage and determination, enabling you to face today's challenges with renewed energy and faith. When you feel like giving up, one of the most vital resources available to you is a supportive community. Life's challenges are often too heavy to carry alone, and isolation can deepen feelings of discouragement and despair. Surrounding yourself with people who encourage, uplift, and walk alongside you can make all the difference in how you navigate difficult seasons. A strong community provides not only emotional support, but also practical help, accountability, and spiritual encouragement that sustain you when your own strength falters. Human beings are created for connection. We thrive when we are part of a network of relationships that offer love, understanding, and acceptance. When you face trials, having people around you who genuinely care can remind you that you are not alone. Their presence alone can be a source of comfort, reassurance, and hope. This support helps to lighten the burden and gives you the courage to keep moving forward even when you feel weak. A supportive community also provides encouragement that combats the negative voices in your mind. When you feel like giving up, doubt and fear can become overwhelming, convincing you that you are incapable or that your efforts are futile. But when others speak words of affirmation, remind you of your worth, and reinforce your strengths, it strengthens your resolve. These positive inputs help to replace discouragement with confidence and hope. In addition to emotional support, a community offers accountability. When you share your goals, struggles, and progress with others who care about your well-being, they help keep you on track. Accountability encourages discipline and perseverance because you know that you have people who are invested in your journey. It is harder to give up when you have others rooting for you and holding you responsible for continuing to move forward. Spiritual encouragement is another key benefit of surrounding yourself with a supportive community. Often, a faith-based community can provide prayer, biblical counsel, and reminders of God's promises that renew your spirit. When you feel like giving up, knowing that others are interceding on your behalf and speaking truth into your life can be deeply strengthening. This spiritual connection reminds you that you are not facing your challenges alone, but are part of a larger body of believers who are walking together in faith. Moreover, being part of a community allows for the sharing of wisdom and experience. Others may have faced similar struggles and can offer insight, advice, or simply empathetic listening. Learning from the journeys of others can provide perspective and strategies that you may not have considered. This shared wisdom is invaluable in helping you navigate your own difficulties more effectively. Community also fosters resilience by creating a sense of belonging. When you feel connected and accepted, your sense of identity and purpose is reinforced. This belonging combats feelings of loneliness and despair that often accompany the desire to give up. Knowing that you are valued and needed strengthens your motivation to persevere. It reminds you that your journey matters not only to you, but to those who care about you. Sometimes support comes in practical ways as well. A community can offer assistance with tangible needs, whether it's helping with daily tasks, providing resources, or simply being present during tough times. This practical support alleviates stress and frees you to focus on healing and progress. It also demonstrates the love and care of God through the actions of others, reminding you that you are not alone in your struggle. Building and maintaining a supportive community requires intentionality. It means investing in relationships, being vulnerable, and allowing others to see your struggles. While it can feel risky to open up, doing so invites healing and connection. Genuine relationships are reciprocal. They involve both giving and receiving support. By engaging with others authentically, you strengthen the bonds that sustain you. If you find yourself feeling isolated, take steps to seek out communities that align with your values and offer encouragement. This might be a church group, a support group, close friends, or mentors. Don't hesitate to reach out and ask for help. Remember that everyone needs support at times, and there is strength in community. When you surround yourself with a supportive community, you create an environment where perseverance is nurtured. The collective encouragement, accountability, spiritual uplift, and practical help enable you to withstand the pressures that might otherwise cause you to give up. This network becomes a vital source of strength that empowers you to keep moving forward, even in the face of adversity. When you feel like giving up, one of the most essential keys to overcoming that temptation is to commit yourself to perseverance and daily discipline. Success, growth, and breakthrough rarely happen overnight. They come through consistent effort over time. Perseverance is the steadfastness to keep going even when progress seems slow, when obstacles appear insurmountable, and when discouragement threatens to derail your journey. Discipline is the daily practice of making intentional choices that align with your goals, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Together, these qualities build the foundation that sustains you through difficult seasons. Perseverance is more than just stubbornness. It is a purposeful commitment to the process. It requires a mindset that embraces challenges as opportunities to grow rather than reasons to quit. When you cultivate perseverance, you train yourself to endure setbacks, failures, and delays without losing sight of your ultimate objective. This endurance strengthens your character and develops resilience, preparing you for the greater things ahead. It is the difference between those who give up at the first sign of trouble and those who press forward until they achieve their dreams. Daily discipline is the practical outworking of perseverance. It involves establishing habits and routines that keep you moving forward, even when motivation wanes. Discipline means showing up every day, doing the work, and making progress step by step. It may be as simple as dedicating time to pray, read, or study, or taking small actions toward your goal. These seemingly small, consistent efforts compound over time to create significant results. Discipline keeps you anchored during moments of doubt and strengthens your commitment by transforming good intentions into lasting behaviors. The power of discipline lies in its ability to create momentum. When you commit to doing something daily, no matter how small, you build positive momentum that propels you forward. This momentum makes it easier to overcome inertia and discouragement because you are continually moving. On days when you feel like giving up, the discipline you have cultivated helps you push through, even when you do not feel like it. It is the muscle that you develop to keep going when emotions would otherwise lead you to stop. Perseverance and discipline also guard against the temptation of quick fixes or shortcuts. In a world that values instant gratification, it can be tempting to seek easy solutions or give up when things are hard. But true growth and lasting success require time, patience, and consistent effort. Committing to the journey means embracing the process, understanding that every step, even the difficult ones, are necessary parts of the path. This commitment builds integrity and faithfulness, qualities that are valuable beyond any single achievement. It is helpful to set realistic goals and create a plan that supports perseverance and discipline. Breaking down big dreams into manageable tasks makes the process less overwhelming and provides regular opportunities for success. Celebrating small victories along the way encourages you to keep going and builds confidence. This structured approach allows you to measure progress and adjust your efforts without losing heart. When you commit to perseverance, you also learn to rely on God's strength. Your own willpower can only carry you so far. Discipline is fortified by faith. Prayer and meditation invite divine guidance and empower you to continue beyond your natural limits. Understanding that you are partnering with a higher power transforms discipline from a burdensome obligation into a joyful response to God's calling. This spiritual dimension adds meaning and motivation to your daily efforts. Accountability is another important factor in sustaining perseverance and discipline. Sharing your goals and progress with someone who supports you creates a system of encouragement and responsibility. When others are aware of your commitments, you are more likely to follow through. Accountability partners can remind you of your purpose, help you overcome obstacles, and celebrate your successes. This relational support complements your personal discipline and strengthens your resolve. It is normal to experience setbacks and moments of weakness on the journey. Perseverance is not about never falling, but about getting back up each time you stumble. Discipline helps you maintain consistency by providing structure, even when motivation is low. Recognizing that progress is often nonlinear encourages patience and self-compassion. Each day is a new opportunity to recommit and continue moving forward. By committing to perseverance and daily discipline, you build a life marked by steady growth and resilience. This commitment empowers you to overcome discouragement and remain focused on your goals. It teaches you the value of faithfulness and the importance of trusting the process. Through perseverance and discipline, you prepare yourself for the breakthroughs that come not from luck, but from persistent, intentional effort over time. When the weight of life presses down and the temptation to give up grows strong, remember that these struggles are part of a larger journey, a journey shaped by purpose, faith, perseverance, and community. You are not defined by moments of doubt, but by the strength you find to keep moving forward. Your past victories are proof that you can endure, and your calling is a beacon guiding you through the darkest valleys. Leaning on faith reminds you that God's timing is perfect, even when it feels delayed, and surrounding yourself with supportive people strengthens your resolve. Ultimately, it is your daily commitment to persevere, fueled by discipline and trust in God's grace, that will carry you beyond every challenge. Hold fast to these truths, for within them lies the power to rise again and fulfill the destiny laid before you.